Good night whenever you are watching this. Welcome to Mentor Mornings, my friends, where we talk about wisdom from people far wiser than myself to help you own your day and fuel your journey. So in 1543, Nicolas Copernicus released and published this paper where he talked about an alternative theory. And his alternative theory was that the world, Earth, actually revolved around the sun. And up until this point, pretty much everybody thought that the sun revolved around Earth. And so this new concept, this new revolutionary concept, led to an amazing renaissance in understanding of how the universe worked and stays with us today. Well, something really interesting is happening, and that's that over the last, say, 50 years, this is starting to happen inside psychology. And that's that we used to think that in order for a person to find happiness, they had to be successful first. So we all went with this idea that happiness was actually a result of success. And so we all strove, we were all told that we need to strive for success, and then we'll find this mythical unicorn of being happy. Well, oh, and by the way, if you appreciate this video, please hit the thumbs up button, share if you feel it's worthwhile, and subscribe if you are not already. Well, let's look at the word happiness. So Sean Achor, he's the author of The Happiness Advantage. He describes happiness as the experience of positive emotions, pleasure, combined with deeper feelings of meaning and purpose. Happiness implies a positive mood in the present, right now, and a positive outlook for the future. Aristotle talked about this concept of like human flourishing. The human flourishing. So happiness is a flourishing of the human, the individual. And he called this, I'm going to try to say this, eudaimonia. Eudaimonia. Anyway, it describes human flourishing, and according to Decky and Ryan, these are the people that developed the idea of self-determination theory. Well-being is not so much an outcome or an end state as it is a process of fulfilling or realizing one's daemon. That's the Greek word for like guiding spirit. Or a true nature. That is of fulfilling one's virtuous potentials and living as one was inherently intended to live. So a researcher by the name of Barbara Fredrickson, she laid out the 10 most common positive emotions that humans experience inside of their life. And just for a Saturday pick-me-up, if that's what day you're watching, for pick-me-up, when I say these words, just let yourself imagine or feel or remember an experience that you had inside of your life that relates to it. So I'm going to go through this. Joy, gratitude, serenity, interest, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, awe, and love. You know, each one of those is a unique variation. It has a flavor, its own unique flavor inside of our life. You know, one of the most famous studies that shows how happiness can actually have a serious, solid impact inside of our life was done on a group of Catholic nuns in about 1917. They were all about 20 years old. There's 180 of them, and they're all asked to make journal entries, autobiographical, I can't say that word today, basically autobiographies, journal entries about their lives. And then what was done recently is they went back and they scanned all of these journal entries, and they were noted for positive emotional content inside those journal entries. And the researchers found something super interesting and very, very relevant to our lives today. And that's that the nuns that had more positive emotional content inside of their journal entries lived on average an extra 10 years. That's 10 years of life for having a positive mindset. And so we're not just talking about happiness, like this fleeting momentary thing that we feel inside of our lives based upon an external condition. What we're talking about is cultivating something inside that it's like an internal peace, acceptance that goes on. And that's something like Stoic philosophy talked a lot about. By the way, guys, if you're appreciating this, please hit the thumbs up button and share and subscribe if you are not already. All right. So, like when we look at today, how do we address the opposite of happiness, this opposite of lasting peace inside of our life. Common medicine today, or psychology today, treats it with medicine. And the medicine that they treat it with, I was just talking to a family member yesterday, and he was talking about how when he was taking Prozac, how he didn't feel more happy inside of his life, he just didn't care. It cut all emotion, it cut all feeling out. And so when we mute the sound of our emotions, it's like the language of our soul, our guiding force inside of our life, when we mute emotions, suddenly we start taking inaction. That means the things inside of our life that are causing us to feel depressed or anxiety or unhappy, it's not impacted because we don't care enough to take the actions to change it. Our emotions are simply, it's like a needle in our side telling us to move over. And so if we don't feel those emotions, if we cut them off, we're not going to take the necessary action. So, like when we look at how do we actually affect a positive mindset, a way to look at it is it's like cultivating a plant. When we're taking care of a plant, it's about, giving it adequate sunlight and the proper amount of water and pruning and tender care. It's nurtured, it's cultivated. And a positive mindset is something that's cultivated as well. And if we're searching for success inside of our lives, that glory inside of our lives, if we feel like something's missing, it's about developing that positive mindset in order to reach that end goal. Until we heal ourselves, the traumas that we faced as children when we were younger, or from society or events that happened, things that have set us back in adulthood, like each one of those things, it's an opportunity for us to develop like this emotional muscle that we have to use over and over and over inside of our lives. And as we develop that emotional muscle, it not only leads to greater success inside of our career and our financial status and our relationship with other people, but it helps us with our relationship to life. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, when we go through this period of time of our lives, like how we feel about how we lived in the end is ultimately what matters the most. When you talk to people or when you look at those studies of people who are on their deathbed, they were facing the end of their lives. And they don't go back and say, gee, I wish I would have worked more. I wish I would have been more serious. I wish I would have gotten more done. What they look back on is the quality of their relationships, the quality of the relationships with those that they love, the quality of the relationship with ourselves. And so I feel like I'm kind of going off on topic here. What I wanted to focus on is that, that science has shown that developing a positive mindset and happiness inside of our lives can lead to up to 10 more years of lifespan. That's 10 more years to explore, to adventure, to do more things, to create more of a positive impact. That's a beautiful thing. And I have met many people that live in a constant negative frame of mind. And every day is a struggle. And I know that we're all just doing our best. The people that are in that negative, it's not like they enjoy feeling like that. It's not like that's not a place where they want to be. And that's why it takes actual implementation of effective tools inside of our life in order to change and to move into this positive mindset. And positive mindset, it's not something that's created just by, today I'm gonna be happy. It's like I said, actual tools. So like a gratitude journal. It's super simple. We hear it all the time and we blow it off like it's nothing. The reality is that they actually make a significant difference in how we feel. And so it's developing a proper diet, right nutrition for our minds and our brains to operate right. Like guys, I've in the past I've been sensitive to gluten and wheat, and I know that when I break my routine of how I eat, instantly, like for the next 2 days, I feel like garbage, brain fog, when a person has brain fog or low stamina of the mind, like the ability to make positive decisions, the ability to look objectively at situations, the ability to navigate and manage feelings, severely diminished. It impacts us on a super deep level. And so like getting our diet right, getting our body healthy, these are all such important key factors in developing that positive mindset that will lead to happiness, that leads to, this extended lifespan that I think that most of us are excited about getting. All right, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you, and if you appreciate this, please hit the thumbs up button. I will see you on Monday, where Monday we'll be speaking about Seneca's 5 tips to happiness. All right, guys, rise unconquered and own your journey. I will see you on Monday.